Hello, and welcome to another edition of Tutorial Tuesday. Today, I'll be going over a tutorial for Google Slides, Part 2. In the first tutorial, I went over the basics of creating slides and putting them together to make your presentation. Today, I'm going to go over some tools and a few tips to make this process a little bit easier and hopefully make you have a better experience using Google Slides. My first suggestion is to make sure you are using the spell checker. To do this, you will click on Tools, Spelling, and make sure that the underline errors has a check mark next to it. You could then go to one of your slides to test it out. And you'll see that on a word that is not correct, it will have this red squiggly line underneath it. You can then right click it and it will give you a suggestion at the top. You can also choose to ignore it if it's a word that you know you spelled correctly, it's just not a common word. And a couple of other options as well. If you click on their suggestion, it will fix it for you. The next tool I'd like to go over is how to collaborate using this file with others. If you'll click in the top right corner, there is a yellow share button. Click that, and you can either select the people you have in your list, or you can add. For this example, I'll add somebody real quick. Once your person or people are chosen, you then choose this drop-down arrow to determine what level of editing they have. They can either only view the document, they can view as well as make comments, or they can have the full ability to edit your document. Once you're done, you can send them a message and then hit send and make sure the notify is on. They'll get an email letting them know that they can now view or edit your document. You can also choose to create a link so that anybody can open this. This is useful if you want to post a link on a website somewhere. If there's a person or people that you don't know their addresses, then you can leave them a link and then they can open it from anywhere. But you will want to make sure you change this permission first. Click the change to anyone with the link. And this is just letting you know that anybody can view this document. You then have this address right here, although that's not the entire thing. What you see, you'll have to click on it and drag over to see all of it. Or more simply, just click copy link. And then you can paste it to wherever so that everybody else can see it. As an alternative to sharing the entire document with somebody, you can decide to share just a specific slide. If you'll notice in the address bar at the top, each slide has its own unique address. All you have to do is right-click the address bar, choose copy, and then give that link to whoever you want to see this specific slide only. The same rules still apply though, where you can have anybody that views this document to be able to view only or to edit. So make sure you have those set correctly. The next tool I'd like to go over, and something that's handy if you use the share option, is version history. It should be on by default, but to make sure and to also access the other versions, click File, Version History, and see Version History. On the right-hand side, you will now see your version history. You can click on each option to see that every single one of these entries, there was a certain change made. As you click through them, you will see all of the changes that were made throughout. And of course, at the top where it says current version is your most recent version of it. This can be really handy if you know that you had something set a few days ago that you really liked and you wanted to get back to it. Or if you collaborate this with others, you can also go back to see what they have changed. If you found a previous version of the file that you want to restore, click the three dots that says More Actions and click Restore this version. When you're finished with this, click the back arrow to take you back to your normal view. The next tool I'd like to go over is how to use Google Slides offline. For this, you will need the Google Chrome browser, and you will need the Google Docs Offline extension. You should have it by default, but to make sure you do, click the three dots in the upper right corner of Google Chrome, choose More Tools, then Extensions. And here you can see I have the Google Docs Offline already enabled. If this does not show up, click the three bars from the menu, open the Chrome Web Store, and search for Google Docs Offline, and it will show up in this list. Once you have it and know that it is enabled, choose File, and then Make Available Offline. And it'll give you a notification letting you know when it is actually available. As you make changes to your document while you're online, it will save the most recent version to your computer locally. That way, whenever you do go offline, you can still go to slides.google.com and access your most recent version of the file that you have saved locally. You can edit it, and then whenever you do have a network connection again, it will put that version with all your edits into the cloud, so that will be your most recent version. Now let's talk about how to customize the layout of a specific slide type, as well as the master slide. Click Slide in the toolbar and choose Edit Master. You'll notice that the slide I have selected has a yellow bar around it, and this outline signifies that this is the specific type of layout that I have chosen for this slide. This one is called Title and Two Columns. I can make changes to this, such as bold and italicize. And anytime I have used this title and two columns layout throughout my presentation, it will change it for all of them. However, when I click on the next type layout that says title and body, it will not affect that one, only this specific layout. If you want to choose the settings for all of them, you can click on the master slide. From here, you can see that all of the layouts have an orange or yellow outline to them. This means that they are all selected and active and will be changed whenever you make a change in here. We can do the same thing to the title of this one. I'll choose bold, italicize, and underline. And you'll notice that it has changed all of these to do the same thing. So this is a pretty handy way to make changes to all of your slides at once if you wanted to make the title look a little different or really anything about it. While you still have the master slide selected, click inside the title, text color, and then click the pencil next to the word theme. From Choose a Theme Color, you can choose Text and Background 1. Then, click another color to see what happens. You can see that the text and background has changed. You can click around to see which one you like. Anytime you make changes that you don't like or you want to go back to what you had previously, you can simply click the undo button, which looks like a left arrow in the toolbar. When you're finished, hit the X to close out of it. Now let's go over how to import a theme. If customizing a theme to your liking is just too time-consuming, or you just don't want to fool with it, or you think that somebody else might do a better job than you, there are lots of themes to choose from online. Just doing a Google search for Google Slide templates, the first result I go to takes me to a page with lots of options. We'll go ahead and choose one as an example. You have the option here to download this template for Google Slides and choose Make a Copy. What this does is this makes a copy from their Google Slide account to yours. You now have this on your account. At this point, you can close out of it and go back to your presentation. Click Theme. Choose Import Theme. And you will see it listed here. Select it, hit Select. Choose it and hit Import Theme. And it has now changed it for you. Now let's go over how to skip a slide. Depending on your audience, when you give your presentation, there may be a slide in particular or multiple slides that don't need to be shown. To skip them, right-click on that particular slide and choose Skip Slide. You will then see this eye with a line through it, meaning that it won't be shown. As you do your presentation, you will see the one before it, and it'll directly go to the one after it. Let's make sure it works. Click on Present. Starting with the first one, I click to go to the next one, and it skipped to slide number 3. And you can see in the toolbar right here that it has an eyeball with a line through it, meaning that you cannot view this one. If you click on it manually, you can still get to it. But it still does not show up in your presentation. The last thing I'd like to go over is how to print and create a PDF. If you'll click File, then Print Settings and Preview, you'll notice that you have some options up here at the top. You can choose the layout, the slide itself being the default layout, the slide with a note area, and then the handout with multiple slides per page. You can also choose to make this landscape to make it look a little different. This lets you choose up to 9 slides per page. When you are finished, click Print to go to your printer. Or if you prefer this to be a PDF file, select Download as PDF. Make sure that the way this looks right here is the way you want your PDF to look. So if you want somebody to have a PDF of just the slides themselves, you'll want to go back to one slide without notes, and then choose Download as PDF. And it will look just as it is right here. I hope these tools and tips will help you the next time you need to make a presentation with Google Slides. Thanks for watching.